So a friend of mine's been on this new diet and exercise routine, which has made a huge difference in how he feels. He said things like, "I feel younger, healthier, more alive." I was immediately drawn in because, like anything promising positive change, I knew I had to at least try it. So I started the diet, ate like a caveman for months, and started exercising daily. I went to the gym, lifted weights, even started running again. It's not that I actually enjoy running, I dread it. I run because I know running brings results. So every other day I took to the trails, water bottle in one hand, iPod in the other. I tried doing everything I could to forget about the act of running, the inability to breathe, my knee joints begging me to stop. But just a couple weeks ago, something happened. In the middle of my jog, I had this moment, this irritatingly powerful moment. My iPod battery died. I tried to keep running, but found it was way more difficult without a rhythm or a beat to run to. So I stopped, took a minute, caught my breath. When I looked up, I noticed for the first time in months the view that had somehow escaped me. There in front of me, to the west, are the Rocky Mountains, more specifically the Flatirons Range. The view caught me off guard. How many times have I run this trail and just seemed to have missed the view because I was too focused on my breathing, the heel striker, or my playlist? Then another question came to the forefront of my mind. What would my runs look like if I focused on the mountains, made them my goal? See, runners, they make these milestone goals as they run. They might focus on like a tree off in the distance or even like a sign. Me, I'm just trying to stay alive, just trying to breathe. I'd forgotten the beauty of the run. I lacked a love for running because I wasn't taking time to enjoy it. I was simply doing something out of routine. Running had become just another routine. So there's these letters from a guy named John, written over 1,000 years ago to a group of communities that he loved. Like anyone who truly loves someone and has to watch them suffer, he sent these messages of hope that they would find relief and direction. This first letter was to a community by the name of Ephesus. This community was a group that possessed a strong understanding of who they are, what they believed. They hated injustice and they tested every new worldview they came across. One problem though, this community, they lost their love, their enthusiasm and connection with one another. They forgot what brought them together in the first place. They were a group of people who were doing all the right things, but without any heart. They lived lives of routine, and they lost touch with what was really important. They lost their first love. I remember a couple, friend of ours, who were going through some pretty serious marital struggles. I remember the husband coming over our house and just sitting on the couch, totally defeated. He looked at me in anguish and he admitted he could not remember the reason he fell in love with her in the first place. He couldn't even remember why he loved her. It was heartbreaking to see. Here are these two people who came together in marriage, made all these plans together that were meant to be shared, only now neither of them could remember what brought them together in the first place. This is the Ephesus story. It's their experience, but I think it's probably many of ours as well. See, we had this great courtship with this amazing lover. Then we got into a routine. We stopped spending time together. We started listening less, speaking more. Some of us stopped speaking altogether. Yet we kept going through the routine. We've made sure to look the part, act as if the relationship is still strong in front of friends and family. Only the problem is, at some point, the lovers come to a realization of the emptiness of the relationship. John didn't simply leave the letter there. He gave them some counsel, some relational advice to bring them back to their former relationship with God. He gives them 3 pieces of advice. Number 1, remember. He essentially says here, look back at your relationship. What made you fall in love in the first place? What drew you to God? What about God made you want to be close to Him? Number 2, repent. In a lot of relationships, there's a sticky moment when our guards must be put down and we become vulnerable with the ones we love. Repent in the Greek means to turn around and move in a totally new direction. I admit where I was wrong, and then I do a 180 turn toward what will keep us together. Number 3, do. Do the things you used to do together. What experiences do you miss most about that relationship? When did you feel closest to your Creator? When you remember, go back, do them again. Actually reconnect and do the things that brought you together in the first place. And when this happens, when we remember and we make amends and do, John tells us we find redemption, we find restoration, we find our relationships with each other and God are made new. They're restored to their original state. See, routines aren't bad. It's when I forget that journey that we begin missing the point. It's when I forget that beautiful view in front of me because I'm too focused on the right tune to run to. It's when I skip time with my daughter to stay at work, slaving over a deadline that will inevitably push my daughter away. It's the lover who continues sending roses but no longer remembers why they loved. John's message to the community of Ephesus is one we all need. Remember your first love experiences. Stop doing things out of routine. Start connecting again. Start loving again.